Hello. So in this session, we will continue our discussions on the analysis of tension members. Until now, we have considered two failure limit states for tension members, and we have seen few examples with respect to plates. And these two limit states were the failure limit states. One of them was yielding of the gross section, and one of them was rupture of the net section. Now, when there are members where some fraction or some portion of the member is connected to the, let's say, the gusset plate or other members, and there is some portion which is free. So this kind of thing routinely happens for especially angles or channel sections. So if you look at the figure here, so this is the gusset plate, and on this gusset plate there is an angle section which is connected. So this is connected on one of the legs where it is bolted, and the other leg is free, right? So this is the connected leg. This is the connected leg, and this is the outstanding leg. Now, in these situations, when there is some portion which is connected and some portion which is outstanding, in these kind of cases, when you apply a tension force, the deformations and the stress distributions are very, very uneven. Okay, and we will see how they become uneven. And basically, if you can imagine how the stresses will transform, how they will move from one portion to the other. So initially, the connected portion will develop the tensile stresses, and from connected to the unconnected or the outstanding members, the transfer of stresses will be through the shear stress, right? So this will try to pull, whereas this portion or this portion will lag behind. So the this lagging behind phenomena is called the shear lag. Okay, so shear lag is applicable in members where the some portion of the member is connected and some portion of the member is not connected. And once this happens, the members can actually fail prematurely. Let's look at a simulation which shows the distribution and development of stresses. So this is a, if you see the stress intensities begin to happen near the holes, which is expected. But if I am to pause this video at this stage, what you can look at is the connected area or the connected leg. The stresses are fairly high, so they are reaching almost 140, 150, 200 megapascals. Whereas the unconnected leg is actually at very low stress, and the stress transfer from the connected leg to the unconnected leg or the outstanding leg, that being happening through the shear stress primarily, is actually delayed, and this is what is called the shear lag effect. Okay, so the unconnected leg remains at lower stress compared to the connected leg, right? And this basically delays the stress transfer. So what can happen is that the area which is connected, that can fail prematurely, right? Because the entire connected area of the member is not being utilized. The portion of the outstanding leg is not getting stressed, or it is not sharing the load as it should be sharing. So this phenomena, which is shear lag, is recognized by the code as well, and there are certain provisions that guide us on how to consider the reduction in strength due to shear lag. The shear lag effect can also be observed in other sections wherever there are more than one portions where some portion is connected, some is not connected. For example, if we take this I section where the flanges are connected to the gusset plates, right? Here the web is not connected, so there will be shear lag effect in the web area. Similarly, we can have a situation where the web is connected, right, but the flanges are not connected. So in this case, we will have shear lag effect in the flange area. So again, let's look at a simulation which shows the distribution and development of stresses. So this is an example where the web is connected. So if you look at the web stresses, these are fairly high. The stresses in the flange region is actually lagging behind the stress development in the web region. Okay, and for this reason, this shear lag effect is not actually able to fully utilize the full section of a particular member, and that is where some strength reduction takes place. And now we will look at how to consider the calculation of this shear lag effect. Now the way it has been characterized is that if we consider the net area, which is AN, right? So this net area is actually multiplied by a reduction factor U. So basically this term becomes the net effective area, or ANE, right? So what was net area earlier now becomes net effective area, and this net effective area is taking into consideration the reduction in strength due to the shear lag effect. Okay, and this has been characterized after multiple experiments, a large number of experiments, where it is mentioned in terms of x bar and L, where x bar is the distance from the edge to the outstanding midsection, centroid section, and the L is the length of the connection. So this is showing, let's say, the front view. If we were to look at the other view, where we will see this angle being connected, right, and imagine that there is a series of holes like that, which considers the effect, which considers the bolts. So the length of the connection is defined as the center to center distance between the outermost holes. So that is what this L is. Okay. Now IS 800 gives this in clause 6.3.3. It says the design net strength of the net section rupture. Now it is, if you look at it, it's a combination of two things. And here there are two areas under question. One is ANC, which is the net area of the connected leg. Okay, so the connected leg is this one, so the area there will be ANC, right? And then there is AGO, which is the gross area of the outstanding leg. Okay, so now there are two areas under question. So the overall area of the angle has been divided into two portions. One is the gross area, which is of area of the outstanding leg, and one is the net area of the connected leg, and they are calculated like so. And if you look at here, the T by 2 end portion is being left out in both the situations. Okay, so this is not considered to the end, primarily because there is a bend there, and it's not like a plate where full area can be considered. Okay, so it's basically now the net strength is a combination of yielding of the gross area of the outstanding leg, right? So the gross area is being considered for yielding, and the net area of the connected leg is being considered for rupture. Okay, so the overall strength is a combination of now two strengths. One is rupture of the net area of the connected leg plus the yielding of the gross area of the unconnected leg. And there is an additional factor beta, which basically considers the effects of the width, which is this width of the outstanding leg. Okay, and it considers effects of BS. BS is basically this entire thing minus the thickness, right? And it considers effects of the these stresses also. So overall, this beta should be less or equal to this value and should be greater than 0.7. So for a steel for which Fy and Fu are 250 and 410 respectively, so beta usually lies between 0.7, which is the lower limit, and then 1.44 comes from this second equation, the first equation, which is the upper limit. Okay, so beta would usually lie between them, and basically if you see that beta is 1.4 minus something, and so if this W is large, then beta will be smaller, right? So if the width of the outstanding leg is large, that will actually intensify the effects of shear lag. Okay, so the beta which is being multiplied to the yielding value, that will be smaller. So we that would underestimate the strength. If the thickness of the outstanding leg is large, that will reduce the shear lag effects, and hence beta will be larger. Similarly, if BS is large, which means WL plus W, right? In that case, again, the effects of shear lag will be more. And if LC is large, LC is the length of the connection. So this length that we wrote earlier, so that is LC. If LC is large, the effects of shear lag will be lesser. Okay, so in this way we can consider what are the effects of the different parameters or the design parameters on the shear lag. Let's now look at an example. So this is example 7.5 of the book. So it says that calculate the design tensile strength if 100 mm leg of the angle ISA 100 by 75 by 6 is connected to the gusset plate. So this is ISA 100 by 75 by 6, which is connected to the gusset plate. And one can look at IS 808 to get the area. So area of the gross section area is 1010. So if you look at this IS 808, we see that for the 100 by 75 by 6, the area of cross section is 10.1, and this is given in centimeter square. So the overall area is 1010. So this multiplied by 100. It also gives a few more properties which might become useful a little later. So let's go back to the example that we were doing. So in this case, now the thickness is 6 mm throughout. The hole diameter is given as 18 mm. This is where the bolts will be put in. The pitch is 40 mm. Right? So the pitch is the distance between two successive holes along the direction of the tension, along the force direction. And WL is 60 mm. So WL is, from the previous diagram, if you recall, WL is this. Okay. So now we can do the area calculations. So the gross area is directly taken from the table 6.1. The net connected area, which is area of the connected leg, net area of the connected leg, right? That will be, so since the 100 mm leg is being connected, so this length is 100. Okay, and the outstanding leg is 75. So the net connected area is 100 minus 18. 18 is the hole diameter, minus 6 by 2. This is T by 2 times the thickness. So the net connected area comes out to this. Similarly, the gross outstanding area will be 75 minus 6 by 2. This is T by 2 times 6. Right. So this comes out to 432. So if we check now the limit state of yielding of gross section, right? So that will be simply gross area times Fy by gamma m naught. So that comes out to this. So this is the design tensile strength in case of yielding of gross section limit state. So that is 229.54. Now if we consider the limit state of rupture of net section, so in this case, since it is an angle section where one leg is connected, one leg is not connected, we have to consider the effects of shear lag. Okay. So this slide shows different values and calculations. So basically this W by T is 72 by 6, right? So W is being taken as again the length of the outstanding angle minus T by 2. Okay. Then BS comes out to 75 plus 60. So this is from here up to that. So the beta value comes out to 1.02, and we have to ensure that whatever beta value we use should be between 0.7 and this ratio of the stresses, which will be 1.44 if we are using a steel with 250 and 410 MPa stresses, right? So this beta value, whatever we calculate, should be between 0.7 and 1.44. If not, we will have to use one of these extreme values. So using this, we can calculate the net design strength. So this comes out to 240.07. So since the gross yielding was happening before this load, the design tensile strength will be the lower of these two numbers, or it will be 229.54. So in this case, yielding of the gross section is governing. There is one more option for calculating the net rupture strength in case of unconnected legs. So one can use the code directly. So it gives a relation of this kind where the net design strength is alpha times A net times FU by gamma 1. Okay, so this is very useful when we are doing design, because in this case all the dimensions were given, the spacings were given. But in case the spacings etc. are not known, the beta values will be difficult to calculate, right? It will be a long iterative process. So in that case, the code says we can use a simplified formula like that, where it is just alpha times the A net. So A net will be now just the gross area minus the area of the holes of the angle, or it can be also considered as summation of the gross outstanding plus the net connected. Okay, so either of them will be fine, although they will be slightly different. So this simplified formula can be used where alpha is a factor. So if one is using 2 bolts, it is 0.6. If it is 3 bolts, it is 0.7. And if it is 4 or more bolts, it is 0.8. Okay, so since in this case we were using 4 bolts, right, so we can use alpha value 0.8. And if you see here, the net design strength comes out to 236. So the governing one is still the gross yielding limit state. But in this way, we can calculate the net rupture strength in a more simplified manner. Okay, so in this we saw how to consider the effects of shear lag on the calculation of the rupture strength.